So what we got today is the Lowa Desert Elite. This was a model offered to a few armed forces around Europe primarily, starting I believe late 2000s. So don't quote me on that, but I believe the boot first appeared in 2007, available for purchase. And it did have quite a bit of success with a few armies of the EU. And that is where my first experience with this boot started. So I was issued this boot during my service, and that's where my experience comes from primarily. Although this particular pair I purchased after getting out because I liked the boot so much. So starting off, the reason why I put the heading as possibly the best boot I've ever used is because it fits me really well. So that's the number one reason why I say anyone should choose a particular boot ahead of features, ahead of brand names, is if it fits you really well. So that's the number one reason why I really like this model. Other features that I really like are the ankle support and the underfoot support, which I'll come on to. So boot is designed and made in Germany. Some models were made in Italy as well, some batches. So it's a Vibram sole, polyurethane midsole, and suede leather upper, along with some nubuck on the tongue and these mesh inserts just to help with breathability. So the boot is quite girthy, so it is quite high, so it provides excellent ankle support when you lace them up. That I guess can be a downside in some people's eyes. It's quite clunky when you first get it, and it is quite heavy, but I think once you break it in, it's totally fine, and it is a good compromise for the amount of support that it gives. The sole is pretty stiff, so it's a full-length shank in there for sure. Going back to the midsole, it is quite hard, this polyurethane, compared to some of the others that I've tested, and that on the one hand gives good support, but it can be quite hard underfoot as well, especially with the supplied insole, which is just one of these. So designed for breathability, but very little to no padding. So me personally, I changed out the insole in these just for a bit of hybrid use, because I suspect these were designed with really soft surfaces in mind, such as sand, for example. It is a desert boot after all, but for more hybrid use, such as on roads and tarmac, I needed a little bit of extra cushion there. So staying with the midsole, they incorporate what they call an SPS system. So Lowa's website says SPS stands for supination, pronation, supination. So they're repeating supination for some reason, but in any case, it's a system to get you to walk in a stable manner, so not having the foot drift inwards or outwards when you're walking. And that is achieved by these inserts into the heel and into the forefoot, so you can see those areas here. So insert via this plate, and then here on the outside of the foot as well. So hard to say to what extent that actually makes a difference. It is not featured on all Lowa boots, so I'm not sure if it's a cost issue or an effectiveness issue. So really hard to tell. The outsole, Vibram, as you'd expect, high quality, good grip, hard wearing as well. Really robust rubber toe cap on there, so good protection. The boot is really well constructed, so triple stitched in high stress areas and double stitched in almost all other places. The tongue is gusseted, so up to here. The mesh panels provide good breathability. I can attest to that, having used it in hot environments, that they do breathe well. As far as lacing goes, got these 4 pairs of eyelets at the bottom, locking eyelet, and then 3 pairs up top. Locking eyelet works really well with the supplied laces, which are these. Really smooth eyelets, so no snagging danger there. You got this little loop on top of the tongue if you want to pass the laces through to prevent the tongue from drifting to either side. On the inside it's unlined, being a desert boot, apart from this insert at the heel, which I believe is cambrel, don't quote me on that, but that's just something to prevent wear in a what's usually a high wear area up at the heel. So it works really well. In my experience, the boot is durable, so it definitely is army worthy boot, if I can put it like that. Now this particular pair I did use casually and recreationally. Even though it has a lot of life left still, I stopped using it because of that. So that is a fairly common problem amongst polyurethane midsoles. They have a limited lifespan, and this boot definitely is past its use-by date. So this one was manufactured in 2009. Typically polyurethane midsoles have a lifespan of approx 10 years. So usually in the military, the storemen are responsible for the delivery and the storage of items such as these. And in the case of boots, they will note when a batch of boots has arrived and when it was manufactured. And typically they don't hand out boots that are over 10 years old. So that's considered the lifespan of a PU midsole. They can work past that date, but usually they become less and less stable, less and less reliable, and little things like this start to creep in. And when you're using a boot in a austere environment, so you never know when you might be encountering moisture or rivers and whatnot, despite it being a desert boot, yeah, it's really best not to use it after that point. So disappointed, of course, but that just comes with the polyurethane, the nature of it. I'll make a video later on about the qualities of polyurethane versus EVA and the advantages of each. So that's for a later time. As far as the downsides, I already discussed the weight and the stiffness of the boot when you first get it, but I do believe it's a good compromise for a pair that gives you as much support as this one does. So it's no longer manufactured, which is a great shame because I'd buy another one in a heartbeat. But Lowa have come out with a successor, which they call Elite Evo, but almost no info on that online and even harder to source online. So doesn't look like I'll be getting one of those anytime soon. Yeah, they're getting really rare on places like eBay as well nowadays. So looks like I'll have to replace them with something else. So let me know if you have any more questions, and thanks for watching.